Hey guys, what's going on? SpitBrix here, back for another interesting LEGO Ninjago review, I guess you could say. I bought these off of eBay, and these are basically a Chinese knockoff company that is basically making LEGO Ninjago sets. And this one actually caught my attention. I never usually buy these, and I recommend that you guys do not either. I only bought this one to show you exactly how these are not LEGO and why you should not buy these. But this one was one of the more interesting ones on the site because, of course, LEGO Ninjago really doesn't have any sort of sets like this for the Ninja. But before I go any further, let's go ahead and dive into each of these sets. Alright, so like I said, I bought these off of eBay, and shipping time was about a month because it was coming from China and was not any sort of priority shipping, so it took pretty long. And then whenever I did get them, they all came in separate packs, like you can see on the screen right now. Each of the motorcycles or bike sets all came with their own little instruction booklet with some really nice artwork on the front, except for the fact that some of it didn't really make much sense. Here you can see Jay, the lightning ninja. Well, he's holding a fire sword. Doesn't really make much sense. Obviously an indicator that these are not actual LEGO. Here you can see Zane. He's got lightning coming off of him, even though it should be ice. So, like I said, there's a few things on these that you know is definitely wrong. They're actually just a very tiny little instruction booklet on how to build these bikes, and that is pretty much it. It's literally just these two little pages, and that's what every single one of these bikes have. Now for this fake LEGO Ninjago set, you actually get 6 minifigures. You get Jay, Kai, Lloyd, Zane, Cole, and you also get Lord Garmadon, which is a pretty interesting addition. You can see that they actually copied the exact same prints that we have gotten for the Ninja, and basically just stuck it on their own plastic figures and said that, well, it was theirs. Now I'm going to point out a few things that I noticed whenever I was building this set. The first thing I want to point out are on the minifigures. You can see it's very shiny up here on the very top. This company uses a very shiny plastic to make these minifigures, and that's one of the first indicators that you know it's fake, because most of the LEGO minifigures that we get are not that shiny, and if you have it in person you can definitely see definitely the difference between the two. One more thing is that sometimes their heads, as you can see on this one for Kai, its eyes are almost not even visible, like it's half covered up. And you can actually see that on this Lloyd figure as well. This Lloyd figure is actually even worse there. You can only see the very bottom of his eyes, which is very disappointing. But then again, these are knockoff sets. It's not by LEGO at all. Now, one more thing I do want to point out is that usually the joints for the legs and the arms are either super stiff, like this one hardly even moves, or super, super loose. Like, I'm hardly even touching this, and it moves all over the place. And so that's pretty interesting. They're very loose on there. Look how easy I can just swing it back and forth. And this one literally is super, super tight. As you can see where my thumb is, some of the printing on this Kai minifigure has actually started to wear off. And I've literally had these guys for just a few days, and I've hardly even done anything with them, just tried to review like I am right now, and already the paint's coming off. Now that's actually a hazard. That can be really dangerous, so another reason not to get these fake knockoffs. Very cheap materials, and that's how they're able to sell them for so cheap, so don't get fooled. Another thing are, look at these legs. That's not a LEGO leg. It's got 2 prongs on the sides, not in the middle, or 2 in the middle. And so that definitely tells you this is not a LEGO minifigure. This is completely different. This is a fake. And then there's this Garmadon minifigure that actually comes with a purple lightning piece. Pretty interesting. I mean, obviously it's not LEGO though. Definitely a fake. And then of course you get this Garmadon minifigure. Now let's actually move on to the vehicles. So the first thing you notice whenever you pick up one of these bikes is how they are made. Just a few different pieces. This is a one main really big piece right here, and then we have a rubber wheel on an axle, and this literally just pops right off. Well, this side pops off really easily actually, and then the other side gets pretty stuck, but there's your wheel and axle, and it just hooks on right there like that, and it actually kind of works, but it does pop off now and then pretty easily. On the back here, you can see that each of them have a shield. Now, this is probably the best part about this set. This is probably pretty much the only good thing about this. These are these prints on these shields you can take off, and the minifigure can actually hold these, but it's really cool because they actually have the logo for each of the ninja, and Garmadon even has one, so this is pretty cool. However, some of them ended up coming out lopsided for me, which was a little bit disappointing, but then again, like I said, this isn't actual Lego, so you're not going to be getting the true quality of a Lego product. Here you can see what I'm talking about here on Cole's shield. You can actually see it's way more on this side than it is on that side, and it's actually not straight. It should be like that, but it's actually turned a little bit. So, as you can see, you definitely can see the bad printing on there. Cole gets a bright orange one, actually, right here you can see, with some different colored axles that are actually transparent, which is really cool. And then all of them have the logo up in the very front. Now, the different printing that are on these bikes are actually pretty nice. We get some new ones that Lego would basically never do, in my opinion, just because of their quality. It would take them more resources, but this KnockOff company can actually afford to do that and then sell them at a pretty reasonable price. But I highly do not recommend. The paint does end up coming off if it's in humid conditions. You can see I'm outside right now, and actually the paint, if you get them really, really warm, like if they sit in the sun, the paint will start to come off, which, like I said earlier in this video, is a hazard. That's actually, it can be toxic. Now, as for more thoughts on these bikes, once you put them together, they're basically impossible to come apart, except for the wheels. The wheels do seem to come off very, very easily, just whenever you're trying to drive it or turn the corner. Sometimes they'll pop off. But the actual build is mostly just this really big plastic piece, and then there's just a few other Lego pieces, or I shouldn't even call them Lego pieces, just plastic pieces on there that whenever you hook them together, you can obviously tell they're not Lego because, well, they don't really come off. They're so tight on there. Here you can see another example of faulty printing. All those little dots right there on the shield, where I guess you could say the printer didn't really get. And that was my short little review on this kind of interesting Lego knockoff. You can basically find knockoffs anywhere on eBay now these days. They seem to be pretty much everywhere. I do not recommend getting any of these knockoffs because they are not the actual Lego brand. I only got this one just to show you guys how they are not that good. Most of these pieces are either super loose or super tight fits, especially on the minifigures. Lopsided prints like on these shields here, as well as on the vehicle itself. Also some bad head prints for the minifigures like you saw on Lloyd back here, as well as shiny minifigures, and definitely not the quality that we're used to seeing if you are a Lego fan and have Lego sets. Whenever you compare the two together, you can definitely see a difference in quality, and so I do not recommend buying any of these, but I just wanted to review this for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm SpitBrix. If you guys are new, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you guys have ever tried any of these knockoffs for yourselves. And I'll see you guys in the next video coming very soon.